Hello everyone, I'm Isaac.
And I'm Alex.
And we recently participated in the Ludum Dare 51 Game Jam. This video's purpose is to just talk about the ups and downs, challenges, and the overall experience of the 72-hour game development challenge. We entered into this jam as Sunderpath Games, a startup company that wants to specialize in multimedia game development, whether that's designing board games, video games, or 3D printing minis for TTRPGs, pretty much, doing nerd stuff. Our team consisted of the lead developer, that's Jeremy, a 3D modeler, that was Alex here, a 2D artist named Meghan, a project manager / voice actor, that's me, Isaac, and we had a friend help us out with some soundtracks. You can check out his music SoundCloud in the link.
So just to cover the basics of the Game Jam, though I'm sure most of you watching this already know, Ludum Dare is a biannual developer challenge where the goal is to create a game from the ground up in a very short amount of time.
We specifically participated in the Jam division of this event, where we had 72 hours and could work with a team of however many people we wanted to. We had a 4-man team, plus the guy who did our music for us.
At the start of the Jam, a theme is picked for all the participants to base their game around. This year's theme was every 10 seconds, and that was it. It was up to everyone to interpret the theme however they would like and to make a functioning game from it. Some games really stuck to incorporating that theme as the central game mechanic, while others, including ours, just used it as a loose baseline to dive off into a creative process.
Yeah, and speaking of the process, the first thing we had to do as soon as we heard the theme was to come up with a system to actually build the game from the ground up. So we grabbed a pizza, of course, and met in my apartment to have a brainstorming session. As you can see here, this is what the whiteboard looked like at the end of the brainstorming session.
We basically were just throwing out ideas at first all around the central theme, and then sort of developed into a yes and process. We all knew that we wanted to do a space roguelike bullet hell kind of game, so we were just throwing down a bunch of ideas until something stuck. So the way that we came up with a mechanic that incorporated this year's theme was we kind of were thinking about what in the game needed to happen every 10 seconds. We wanted to stay away from more cliche things like every 10 seconds enemies spawn, or every 10 seconds some damage is done to you or an enemy, that sort of thing. And what we came up with was, how about every 10 seconds the player ship is healed?
Yeah, and I really like that once Alex threw out that idea, because it subverted my expectation, because I was expecting, enemies spawning in more and more every 10 seconds or doing damage, as the game, so I figured it might be different to have a central mechanic that actually helps the players and could help us stick out from all the other games. So once we had that idea, we already kind of knew for a couple weeks that we wanted to do some sort of space roguelike bullet hell. So we just came up with, let's have the main base or something, or an area heal you, and if you leave that area, you can go and shoot at other spaceships. And once we had that sort of central idea as a foundation, we were able to then start handing out assignments and breaking up into the teams to start the development process.
So by the end of the first night, we had a working player ship and a space for it to fly around in.
To kick off the second day, our goal was to have all the enemy ship models and for the 2D assets to fill out the map space done as well. I had to work in real life, so I spent my day at work messaging the group to keep updated as to where they were in their projects and to make sure specific tasks were done so that other tasks could continue to be completed. And I spent the entire day taking pictures of things to use to texture all the 3D assets and writing down voice lines for enemy ships and the main base. I had an intro that basically explained the goal of the game in a roleplay way. 3 death taunts from the enemies and 3 death cries from the enemies, and the different lines for the different phases of the boss.
By the time we got home, we had most of the enemy ships modeled, and a map looked pretty good. Jeremy was working on bullet mechanics at this point and implementing them into the game. By the end of the night, we had multiple enemy ships with different behaviors running around the map, and the player was able to destroy them and also be destroyed.
The last 24 hours, the goal was to animate death explosions for all of the ship. For me, myself, to get all my voice lines recorded and sent to Jeremy to put into the game, and for the main game loop to exist. We aimed for a 5-minute game loop.
So the loop was pretty much destroy enemy ships while collecting fuel for your base. until the boss arrived at 5 minutes, and then destroying the boss. We got it done before Monday morning, and Monday itself kind of became making the title screen, cleaning up the UI, and fixing any game-breaking bugs that we found. Then we uploaded it, and waited for the results. So regardless of where we placed in the jam, we had a lot of fun and are super proud of our game. This was actually our first submission as a group. We're now in the process of fully developing the game and hope to release it as a finished product for all to enjoy. We have a tentative release date of January 2023 for the first early access release on Steam. We think it is an achievable timetable, but plan to continue working on the game with hopefully a growing player base giving feedback and suggestions as to future updates and content.
Thanks for watching our video about our experience in Ludum Dare 51. Good luck to all other developers, and keep an eye out for Cosmic Crashers on Steam. Name still in work, but that's our placeholder for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.